Welcome back to Teardrop Adventures. This time we'll be heading inland for a camping trip, and we'll be featuring a backup camera as well as a red arc braking system for the trailer. Started our preparation for camping, so we pre-prepared a few meals. We've got some deboned Costco chicken, and we've pre-seasoned some steaks and just put them into Ziplocs and taken the air out of them so they'll be fairly small in the fridge and have a little bit of prep time. These are neat cooking, so obviously they're quick. Before I've got my ARV fridge all set up to cool it down overnight, and I've got my meats on the bottom now, so save some space in my little fridge and time in the morning. Got my batteries all charged up, ready for action for camping. Pre-organized some of the wires I need. This for the batteries, and a convenient tack for just taking inside for night lights and flashlights, things like that. Some phone chargers. I'll put my chargers for my Apple Watch and things like that in here to go inside the Teardrop. I have a checklist for what to do the day before camping, and another checklist on what to pack for camping. So with everything done the night before, in the morning of camping, everything can begin. And you can start the Jenga or Tetris work of packing everything into the Jeep. Picked up this magnetic backup camera that clips off and charges with USB-C. Then I added a magnetic base with just some duct tape, some earth magnets to it, so I can stick it to the back. It makes its own little Wi-Fi network so you can connect to your phone. It does kind of lag, so you gotta wait for a couple seconds before the image catches up, which is kind of annoying, but I'm gonna give it a try for connecting the ball onto, like, connecting the trailer to the Jeep. So first you have to connect to the camera's Wi-Fi, so I selected it there. Now I picked the Wi-Fi cam app, and then it's a little finicky, but sometimes you exit or click on the image and it'll connect. So here I've got the camera upside down, but it's working. So I'll flip it up. There we go, and yeah, you can see you can flip the image upside down. And then let's have a look at actually using it. So here we are reversing. So I had to play with where to put it to actually make it useful and to make the left and right feedback the right direction. So I'll have to play with that some more. I think I'm going to point it down next time. But eventually I did get it working, and I was able to line it up with some success. It looks pretty good. We're all packed up, about to roll out, heading inland Vancouver to Cultus Lake again. Back in the Teardrop and set up a double spot right on the lake. You can see the water. Put the Jeep up there, so be near the kitchen. I'm starting to set up our own private beach at the campsite. Hooking up the Renogy first, since we have in there the connection to this Bluetooth dongle, which goes right to my application and tells us exactly how much is left of the battery. So if that one dies, I'll know, and then I can hook up another battery. So here you can see that after one night of running the fan and some lights, I'm still at 95.43%. You can see some of what the app displays. Set up right on the edge of the campsite, right on the lake. Had to move our Jeep back a little bit, but because they wanted us to be on the gravel, so we kind of had two tires on the edge of the pine cones. I guess that counted as green space. Make some coffee. Waking up right on the lake. Morning crow. Our campsite. to the lake. A little private beach. Sausage and eggs on toast. Time for some solar charging with a patch of sun right on the lake. Getting about 31 watts right now with some partial shade through that little crack in the trees. With some good friends, we decided to take a break from camping and head into town to some local breweries. We had Farmhouse, which is a beautiful place with some nice pizza. We found a movie set we drove by on our way to the next brewery, which was Sidekick, which is right on the river. We took a walk along the river as well, check out the fish swimming up the river and some local graffiti and some people fishing. So for the Teardrop, I installed a Red Arc brake controller. So I installed it right here, or at least I had someone install it. It was pretty solid, like driving here. Could really tell the difference with the braking, especially someone cut me off, and could tell I was a lot more confident braking. In the back, I also installed this right here. So this is a 4-pin and a 7-pin. So this, I can connect the Teardrop straight to it. So that's pretty sweet. Morning coffee. Just pour it in and let it percolate. Easy peasy. Not a lot of sun in the campsite, but now I'm charging my Jackery off of my Vitoman. The Vitoman has more charge and it's less portable, so I'm transferring the power over to the Jackery because I can move that around and use it wherever I want to. But the Vitoman's pretty heavy and big. But now I'm charging phone, recharging a phone charger, and then going DC to input on the Jackery to charge that back up. My camping set up for this trip. There's no chance of rain, so we don't even need an awning really. So this worked out really well. And I just have the Jeep right here, right beside. So I've got my stove behind me and fridge is set up right here. A lot of my camping extras are right here. And the lake's right there. Prepping for pizza. Heating the meats and the veggies. Time for some camping pizzas. We just pre-made them with naan bread and toppings. And we're just cooking them on the grills with a cooling sheet to keep them like crispy. Crisp them up. Sun's setting on the lake. These little magnetic hooks from Amazon, like 20 of them or something. So I can just hook a garbage and recycling on there and share the middle hook. And they could even stay on there like when I'm driving if I really wanted to. And look at this light, USB light underneath here. So it throws a lot of light for kitchen, for a working area. And that's pretty much my full coffee setup. Except for some milk I have to grab. My brown sugar, my filters, my coffee scooper. I just put my sugar and milk in and off I go. Camp chef going. All set up for breakfast dogs. Sambuline buns. Gonna toast the buns, put the hot dogs on. Some chipotle mayo. Washing the dishes, we just have this little rack here that has the drying system and a little bucket if we want to do an extra sink aside from our normal sink. It's crazy trees here. We got the roasted corn and burgers. Beautiful spot with like lots of privacy. Sun shining on the lake. It's not even raining, so we set up our little party spot here with a campfire. Great, but we don't even need a canopy. few night lights for ambiance. Hear the waves lapping as the boat's going by. Pretty busy lake still, even at this time of night, at like 8 o'clock. We had a great 5 days and 4 nights in Cultus Lake, but inevitably it's over and time to start packing and hooking up the Teardrop back onto the Jeep. But maybe we can use the backup camera one more time. Let's test it out. Connected now, ready to head back to civilization. That was a great trip. Beautiful spot, so close to the lake. Finished unloading back from camping, so now I've just hooked up my lithium battery back to the Genius charger, and this one over here, this one's also charging. So it's got three banks really, but I took one of them out and taped it off. So now I'll just get these to charge back to full. This one was down to, let's say, about 20%, and this one was down to about 30%. Well, 30% for these types of batteries means you're almost down to 11.5 volts charge left. That is 50% charge really, but you can only go down that far, so 11.5 is 0. So this was down, had about 20-30% of its capacity left, which means down to 50%. Pretty confusing. That's why I like to switch to these ones. This one has its own app like I showed you guys, so that's way simpler. And then if this one dies, I can tell on the app, I can switch to my backup battery, which I didn't even use this trip, for a 5-day camping trip. So now that we're home, I've left overnight the charging from the Genius and charged up the batteries again. And also I got some grease dielectric for the electrical work. For the new 7-pin harness, I put some grease on that, and I actually bought a tester too, just to make sure it was all good, and greased that, and all the lights were fine. So that's part of winterization. And I'll also bring in my Renogy and turn that into off mode for the winter now that it's fully charged. And I'll leave that inside. And this battery might bring into the garage where my other one, keep them a little bit warmer so they don't freeze. That's it. Well, that wraps up another Teardrop adventure. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for watching. I hope you join us again. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.